seen a black Santa walking down the street one day. And you know, I consider myself something of a jolly good fella, so naturally, I had to intervene. So I shouted something across the street at him, and he wheeled around. He said, "What you say now?" And lo and behold, it was Two Shoes Johnson.
Jimbo and Two Shoes Johnson were acquaintances after fighting together during the Vietnam War. But to Jimbo, a black Santa was still a black Santa.
So I said, "Two Shoes Johnson, what are you doing with that get-up on?" He said, "Jimbo, what do you think I'm doing? I'm about to go down to the mall and play Santa Claus." And I said, "Well, don't you see a problem with that, Two Shoes Johnson?" He said, "What's the problem, Jimbo?" I said, "That's stolen valor, my friend. Santa Claus ain't black." He said, "But Jimbo, Santa Claus ain't real." I said, "Okay, he may not be, but if he was, all signs point towards him being white." He said, "Okay, well, wait, what makes you think that, Jimbo?" I said, "Think about it. If Santa Claus was black, we wouldn't be leaving out milk and cookies. We'd be leaving out cornbread and Hennessy. And he wouldn't be riding a sleigh down from the North Pole. He'd be taking his Cadillac off of MLK Way." And he said, Jimbo, look, if you want to play Santa Claus, you can go ahead and do it. But at the end of the day, these kids were either getting a black Santa or no Santa, so I had to make the call. And I said, "Well, okay, go ahead and strip on down and hand me that beard."
What Jimbo didn't know was why Two Shoes Johnson was Santa to begin with.
So me and Two Shoes Johnson got to the mall, and it wasn't long before I realized why they had hired a black Santa Claus. Because besides me, there wasn't nothing white in that building except for teeth. I mean, I felt like a drop of milk in a bowl of Cocoa Puffs. So you know, I remember thinking, okay, maybe Santa gonna call in sick today. But before long, the kids were swarming all over me, and I just couldn't go anywhere. But you know, I felt like a beetle. I mean, they were looking around, they were screaming, they were losing their minds. And one of them said to another one, he said, "We finally got a real Santa Claus."
Being the jolly good fella he was, Jimbo couldn't help but feel the Christmas spirit. And what he would do next would be nothing short of revolutionary.
So, you know, at the time, I was also the proprietor of a toy factory, because after leaving Vietnam, that's what I'd pursued, because that was my childhood passion. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna do something special for these kids. I said, "Wait on y'all, Santa Claus gonna be back." So I hopped up in my F-150, I drove over to the factory, and I went into the excess room. Cause you see, when you're producing toys, sometimes you fuck shit up, and you'll make one with 3 eyes or 4 arms or some kind of defect. The camouflage is the wrong color, you know? So we had a bunch of that stuff, and we didn't know how to get rid of it. So I looked at that and I said, "Oh, ho, 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 Santa Claus is coming to town." So I took it all back to the kids, and I handed them out, and all the kids got toys that Christmas.
Jimbo would go on to win the Bill Bojangles Robinson White Boy of the Year award for bringing Santa to the black community. He would go by Jiminy Christmas until his death at the age of 76 at his home in Macon, Georgia.